It looks like maybe we have all the challenges taken care of. We'll see. Going to give just a 30-second countdown here for the last stragglers to get in for who might be here tonight. Y'all ready? Are you ready? That's what I want to know. I want to know who's ready. All right, so I have my time 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, which is our go-to time. So we'll get started. So I want to welcome those of you that are here tonight. Again, apologies for Monday and the little technical issues we had, which prevented the session from coming off. My name is Steve, sometimes known as Pips Don't Lie. It's been my handle for a long time. More recently, rebranded, if you will, as the FX Coach for a while now. So I welcome you to the session. I hope you continue to come back. I want feedback. So as the session winds down, afterwards, please feel free to chat up some feedback. So real quick overview on my background. Now let me see how long it takes that to come out. So it's showing up in my preview. Y'all still hear me, right? Okay. So a little bit about my background, and again, if you're not seeing it, refresh your screens. Maybe it's just my screen that needs to be refreshed, my secondary monitor. So I've been around a while. Listen, I'm nothing great, to be honest. It's just I've had the perseverance to stick around, had the ability to stick around, and you know, through lots of trial and error over the years, figured out what didn't work till I end up with what does work. So I've been in the tech industry for a while, though, and in terms of the software industry for the financial markets, I did bring the first technical analysis product to the computer, to the personal computer. Um, I did have a shootout with 48 other financial products and won an Editor's Choice Award for that product. I did get a Compact Distinguished Dealer Award for my systems integration company, Inc. 500 Fastest Growing Award. I started with the first Forex MLM that was out there called FX Trainer, and I had the #1 team in there. And the reason that happened was because I taught traders how to trade. People who wanted to learn how to trade, I made sure they learned how to trade. So I complemented the company's training to ensure traders I brought in, if you will, or referred to the organization, learn how to trade. And in fact, I am an IBO just kind of recently, but I will say this so you understand the kind of team we have. The first 35 signups on my team were traders, existing traders. So we're a trading team, and I'm a trading coach. I was director of training and development it was a affiliate slash MLM company called FX Partners after FX Trainer. I founded and funded Pip Club in 2006. It's a community of advanced traders. Started trading with pitchforks about 10 years ago. Continue to move forward because of what they brought to my trading for other things that would kind of complement them, but still be what I call a new paradigm way of trading. We'll talk about paradigms here shortly. Started trading harmonic patterns in 2010. I invented something called harmonic wave convergence back in 2010 as well. I've done about 3,300, according to GoToWebinar, online webinar training sessions over so many years, taught thousands of traders, and after several months of going back and forth and kind of looking at what I could and would be willing to teach, Jason and Chris brought me on as an educator in August. So brand new to this platform, brand new to you guys, well, some of you guys, and I look forward to where that may take us. So let's look a little bit about what we're going to do in this channel over time. Check, check. Okay. Well, thank you for the welcomes. Videos there. May have to refresh your screens. There it is. So for our channel, Scans, Forks, Fibos, I've got a lot of objectives, and so you'll just have to bear with me, and over time, here's what we're going to do. My goal is to serve you, the IML trader. I want to complement the IMLTV offering. That means with everything that's out there, I want to be able to have my stuff fit in, overlap, etc., to complete more of the puzzle of what trading can be for you. I'm going to introduce you to something that I call the new paradigm of trading. It's got a lot of technical differences and a lot of psychological differences. Don't get too confused by that. It's just like every kind of paradigm. When you walk into something, typically you're taught and you have belief sets about that paradigm, and you don't understand and maybe can't comprehend and don't even know it exists outside of that bubble or sphere, because you've just not been exposed to it. So my job here is to expose you to that. Most of my gains in knowledge over the years have come from the School of Hard Knocks, and I want to bring that experience and that insight to your trading. So in this group, by its name, Scans, Forks, and Fibos, my goal is to inform you, educate you, and train you to the level of mastery with pitchfork trading. Who's game for that? All right. Well, if you're up for it, I'm going to do it. But you just got to be with me. You got to stand with me. You got to be coachable, and we'll get it. We're also going to take pitchforks to complement and bring additional value to the harmonic scans. Okay? Which is really powerful. Really powerful. We're going to bring advanced Fibonacci techniques to your trading. Gotcha, Duran is. We're going to bring advanced Fibonacci's to your trading, and that'll help you in all aspects of your trading. So while pitchforks are essentially can be traded standalone, when you combine them with things, they're really powerful. And so even if you don't trade harmonic patterns, even if you don't trade Fibonacci, you're going to be able to use pitchforks and other stuff that you may be exposed to here at IML or on your own learning. And it will complement those by giving confirmation of the trade, but probably in most cases with more precision, which is what we're after. Okay? I'm going to move your psychological side so far forward, you're going to forget where you started. And that's not a boastful quote, that's a reality. It has to happen. And the way I teach and what I do and how I trade, a good part of that happens automatically. But you'll see how big a role and how big a part of the game that really is as we move on. I'm going to make sure you understand thoroughly the understanding of risk, reward, and trade analytics. Hey, Wisdom. Um, that's very important. And again, most traders don't have a good understanding of that, and they're proceeding into their trading, and that's just a mistake. It's something that really needs to be understood. And I'm going to teach you the underlying math in trading. That's so significant. And part of the reason for that is when you have the math and you understand it, it becomes almost robotic. It becomes computational in how you trade. And when you do that, logic absolutely kills the emotion. There's no emotion, there's minimal emotion in it once you understand the math and you understand how that brings logic to your trading. So I want to be your partner in your forex journey. I want to stand with you through the challenges you're going to have. I'm going to be your trading advocate and liaison with your trading partner, iMarkets Live. And I'm going to be part of that trading team that teaches IML's vision of 1 million traders by 2020. So that's a little bit of the big picture vision for what I have for this group. And we're just jumping all sorts of out of order here. No. Let's see. I don't know why that is going on there. Oh boy. Oh, I know why. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Alright. We'll get there one way or another. Let's see how that comes across. Tell me when you see the title that says Real Truth About Trading. I'm pretty amazed at the lag here, to be honest. Getting it? Okay. For some reason, it comes back to me very slowly. I usually have to refresh my screen to see the next slide. So, you're not lagging, just me, huh? Okay. So, there's kind of a hidden truth that you're not exposed to for the most part in trading. And here's the reality with this. The Forex is bigger and better than you ever imagined it was. I know a lot of you already think it's pretty cool and you have visions of where you want to get to in terms of proficiency and financial gain and whatnot. But I'm going to tell you, it's bigger than you think. On the flip side, I'm also going to tell you that the work to be done is also pretty large. And that's okay because it's like walking footsteps through a minefield. As long as you could walk through those footsteps, you'll be just okay. So we're going to get into the old paradigm versus the new paradigm. Why? Well, essentially the old paradigm of trading. See, what is trading? Let me jump down to that. What is trading? See, a lot of you have an idea of what trading is, and this is where you don't have the real truth yet. Trading is about ways you can use currency price movement and exploit that for profit. That's kind of like the solid definition of trading, where you can exploit the movement in price movement for profit. There is no one style or one kind of trading that's a cookie cutter fits all. It's going to depend on your lifestyle and your financial objectives. And that means 4 hour trading may be for some people, 1 hour trading may be for some people, 1 minute trading might be for some people. And if you've had preconceived notions about what scalping is, you better watch out because they're probably wrong. 5-minute trading, 10-minute trading, 30-minute trading. And each one of those has the same skill set, it's just scaled. Money management and risk is different to some extent. But there's no one format or style or time frame that defines what Forex trading is. And so we're going to look at a bunch of different stuff over time. We will focus on 1 hour slash 30-minute, 4 hour, and then we'll even slip down the 10-minute some for some of our pitchfork work. I will say this, self-development is an imperative. If you're not working on self-development now in a real hard way, it's going to be hard for you to be a successful trader. Excuse me. When you want success in here, excuse me, I can get it to you, but here's the deal. You have to establish yourself and let me know what you want out of your trading. And quite frankly, that's contained, again, I'm used to real-time updates on screen sharing, so I'm not sure. Whether you want your trading to be a hobby, a job replacement, or true wealth creation. Because the level of effort, the level of commitment, the level of dedication varies for all those. I had a trader last night, send me an email. This is the longest lapse in time I've heard from a trader that was once with me. 10 years, almost to the day. Hey Steve, I don't know if you remember me, blah, 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 blah. And his comment was, I think I want to get back into trading some. And that's kind of like saying, I think I want to be kind of pregnant. Oh, let's not talk about pips now. Pips isn't a measure of success. We'll get there. See, I can make 5 pips a day and make as much money as you do with 50. So, the measure of pips isn't, and that has nothing, and I'm talking same account size, same risk in the trade, no over risking. So it's once you understand the math, you'll understand how you can make true wealth creation. But the more you move up, as you go from hobby to job replacement level income to true wealth creation, the farther you move up that scale, the more imperative self-development is going to be. No apologies. So more self-development. And here's the thing, it'll show. It'll show. I'll see it. If you're going to be active with me, I'll see it, because I've set up, we've got a real nice setup in this group. So let me get to that. The last comment I want to make here is your trading growth is going to come from failing, not winning. This is totally opposite of the old paradigm. This is totally opposite of the way most of you were taught to trade. Oh, here's the system, go trade it, good luck. And then you're kind of wondering why you're getting 20% wins and the gurus are getting 50% wins with the trading. You're taught to go out and do it and to succeed versus learning what not to do. Now the difference with that has to do with how you process that psychologically. What ends up happening when you try to win is you're going to lose. And if your goal is to win and you lose, you're going to be hesitant to do what you need to do on the charts to trade because you're fearful of a loss. The example I've used with my traders for the last 5 or so years is you got little Johnny, just a little kid, he's 4 or 5 and he wants to learn how to hit the baseball. So for those of you who understand American baseball. So, dad takes him out back. Little 5-year-old, 4-year-old, he ran up to the box store and bought the little plastic wiffle bat and wiffle ball. Takes his son out back and he says, okay, little Johnny, here's the deal. puts the bat in his hands, puts it on his shoulder, bends his knees a little. So I'm going to stand out here about 10 feet in front of you, and I'm going to throw the ball, and I want you to try and hit the ball. Now here's the difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. In the old paradigm, he says to little Johnny, after he says, I'm going to stand here 10 feet in front of you and throw you the ball, I want you to try and hit the ball, and when we're done, I'm going to go inside, we'll wash our hands, and I'll tell Mommy how many times you swung and missed. Now telling little Johnny that before they start their play, you think he's going to swing at every ball to try and learn how to hit it? He's going to be so conscious of making mistakes because that looks like it's tarnished on his abilities that he's going to be afraid to learn. He's not going to learn how to take the right hit. Now on the other hand, if he says, hey Johnny, here's what we're going to do. I want you to try and hit the ball, and when we're done, I'm going to go inside and tell Mom how many times you hit the ball. We don't care how many you miss. I just want you to hit that ball. Now when the pitch comes, little Johnny's going to swing at everything. Now I don't mean, wild pitches, but everything in the sense of trading, or the metaphor in trading would be everything that's a qualified trade. And he's not going to have any negative mindset preceding his trading. So we're going to overcome that with a lot of self-development work. And you're going to have to participate in that. And that doesn't mean 5 minutes once or twice a week. You need to be putting in 20, 30 minutes a day alone in your self-development, if not more. All right, so I want to talk about risk for a second as a primer so we can understand something here. Tell me when you get the MT4 harmonic scan up on your screens. Got it. All right. So what we have here is I got a bunch of overlays on this. Let's look at this. What this is it's the typical IML harmonic scan on an MT4 workstation. And as you know, it comes, if you look at the right side of the screen, I have ES and EE. That's the entry start and the entry end per the programming that comes with the scanner when the scan prints. And also that top red line is the stop loss line, as you can maybe see. And so with that, the numbers are computed. And over on the left, well, let's start where it says number 1 on the left. The account is $5,000. In this example, look at number 2. We're going to put 2% risk into this trade. Yeah. Just 2%. Just want to show you the math here. 3, the difference between the one stop and the entry line, or the one entry and the stop loss as calculated, was 79.7 pips. Since we know it's a $5,000 account, we know it's a standard account. So down here in the lower left corner, I have the actual formula that you would use to calculate how many lots to put into the trade. Yeah, that is a problem with the with Wirecast, is its presentation of the screen is a little blurred. I'm used to GoToWebinar where it's crystal clear. So that formula you might not be able to see very well, huh? But I outlined the formula there. The black box in the center of the screen is what's called a trading calculator. And I'll bring that over so you can see it, and I'll make it bigger so you can see it, hopefully. Let me see here, view, we'll zoom in. Let's go 100 and I'll go 150%. That's going to be pretty big. 135%. All right, maybe that'll be seen. So tell me when you see the trading calculator here. Now, I'll be giving this to you next week. There you go. There's the question. I've made some revisions to it over the last month and then kind of finished them off the other day. And I have to do a little training video on that. And even at that level, you really can't see it very well. So what this shows is the value of a pip is $10 because we're in a standard account. The account balance is $5,000. No, it's not a download from this site. I'm going to give it to you next week. Yeah, still blurry? All right, let me get 1 more percent. And if not, we're just going to skip it. I'm going to learn very fast what I will not be able to do here because of the clarity, which is unfortunate. No wonder so many people trade in the old paradigm. They can't see the precision in the charts. Oh my. Okay, hopefully that'll be big enough. Okay, you can see it clearly now. Okay, so what this is the value of a pip for a standard account is $10. Well, most of the time. You can go to your broker and see what the value is for a pip across the currency pairs. Your exotics and cross pairs will have different values for a pip, but it'll be up in that range. We have got $5,000 in the account. We're going to put trading risk 2% to the account. Our stop loss is 79.7 pips, and it comes out and calculates the exact same 0.13 lots you could put into the trade per your MT4. Now, let me say we take that same trade, and what it calculates, what I want you to bring your attention to, I don't know if you can see it, in the middle of the screen, you see some blue writing. The third one down says profit per pip potential. So with the standard account and $5,000 in it, and the trading risk at 2%, and the stop loss set at 79.7 pips, and you put 0.13 lots into the trade, you will make $1.25 per pip gained. For the most part, that's directly driven by your stop loss. Now, let's take that same trade and say we used a pitchfork, as I'm going to teach you to use pitchforks, to make the entry. We're going to use a 10 pip stop loss. And what I'm going to do now is run a comparison between the 10 pip stop loss and the 80 pip stop loss, of the 79.7. And what you'll see, if I can scooch this over enough to where it stirs up, here we go. So tell me when you see the side-by-side comparison. Got it? So what you'll see over here now, on the left, at the top, stop loss number 1 equals 80. Third line down, our profit potential per pip is $1.25 per pip gained. Pretty simple. If we make 10 pips, we make $12.50. If we make 100 pips, we make $125. However, if we entered that same trade with a pitchfork and used a 10 pip stop loss, we have the potential to make, not the potential, but if it moves forward in our favor, we're going to make $10 per pip gain. $1.25 versus $10 per pip gain. And so that's the reason why you want to learn how to trade with pitchforks, and that's because the profitability will be 5 times, 10 times, and more than what you make currently using standard entry mechanisms where you would have that 80 pip stop loss. And sometimes they're bigger. I did a study a while back. I did that in this video a couple weeks ago or last week, whenever it was, where I talked about why you might want to consider using pitchforks. And I did a study of 4-hour scans. I just picked a day at random and said, okay, today I'm going to look at all the 4-hour scans. And there were 13 available. This average stop loss across those 13 4-hour scans was 148.2 pips. Call it 150. Which means on those scans, if you used a pitchfork with a 10 pip stop loss, you would be making 15 times the profit. Yes, bigger profit per. I don't use 3%, I use 2%. And I wouldn't recommend that for a brand new trader either. So the motivation is in the. Now look, here's the deal. When you start compounding those results, it'll blow you away. It's neat to know that in one trade you can make 10 to 15 times more. Now you take a second trade and a third trade and a fourth trade. And what you're going to understand is why you're going to have to push through being a student of pitchforks, because you're going to leave everybody else in the smoke, right? They're going to be in your smoke. So again, a little frustration here with the screen resolution. Let me try something. Yeah, I'm afraid to try this, but I'm going to try it. This might be a trick. No, I don't know what that was. Alright, so this is a list of this is a list of attributes that it's going to take for you to be a successful trader. And there's various things here. Well, again, I'm going to learn the difference here. Let me put my glasses on. I want to check one thing. Oh, okay. I won't do it here then. So we have the ability with this broadcasting platform to change our output speed, our upload speed. And in doing so, we can change the resolution of the output. And so this being, how Monday was a disaster because we didn't have the key and everything fell apart. I didn't want to have tonight turn terrible on me. So I'm going to maintain the recommended session, recommended output, how would I say it? The recommended bandwidth for the output per the engineer's recommendation until I get a little bit more experience with this. But the bottom line is, I'll just read through some of these really quickly, and I got to stay on track here. You're going to have a dream that's very big, because the bigger the dream, the smaller the obstacles. So when I see people complaining, all it tells me is they don't have a dream, because there will be other people who aren't complaining, and the reason they're not complaining is because their dream's more important than the excuses are. So anytime you catch yourself starting to feel like, oh dang, what about this, what about that, oh, and you're all frustrated and whatnot, you need to back up and look at you need to look back and check your dream, find your purpose and your why. You have to believe that dream will happen. The reason you do self-development, one major reason, and that's so you feel you have the self-worth to deserve the dream. There's so many people that have the dream, and it's big and it's grand, and they have a passion for it, but yet subconsciously they don't believe they deserve to have that dream. Focus. When you're goal setting, when you have a dream in front of you guys, the problem is you're going to have values, and your values and your goals can't be in conflict. And by values, I mean what do you put priority in the short time. There will be weeks that the Forex has to be number 5 on your to-do list. That's just a given. Life just likes to jump at us and intervene all the time. But it just can't be week after week after week. You can't take items, 1, 2, and 3 off your list and next week just add replacements for them and the Forex remain number 5. Now you fall back to that hobby level income. You're not talking about true wealth creation. You're going to have to pay the price, and in any level of success, you always have to pay the price forward. You're going to have to pay the price first before you can have the success. Let me move on because I want to get into a few things. So, tell me when you see the picture of the bus. We're going to have a little fun. You just wait. I don't know. Is that Adonia? Just wait. I haven't even started with you yet. And I don't want to go too fast that I lose the slower people. Somebody asked what a pitchfork is. I'll get to that in a minute. So here's what I want you to do. I need you to make a promise to me. I want you to put your hands in your lap. So no pencils, papers, no phones with calculators, nothing. All right? So don't do anything with the math with a pencil and pen. I want you to do this all in your head. Those of you who've been around me for a while, you know what I'm going to do. The rest of you that are brand new to me, we're going to have some fun here. So here's what I want you to do. All in your head now. Put your hands on your lap. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. There is a bus. Hands on your lap. There's a bus. The driver picks up the bus at the transportation yard. He gets on the bus. He's the only one on the bus. He goes to his first stop and he picks up 3 people. He goes to the next stop and he picks up 4 and lets off 2. Picks up 4, lets off 2. Goes to the next stop, picks up 7 passengers and lets 1 off. He goes to the next stop and picks up 3 passengers and lets off 4. He goes to the next stop and picks up exactly 8 passengers. Nobody gets off. He goes to the next stop and he picks up 5 and 2 get off. He goes to the next stop and he picks up 3. He goes to the next stop and he picks up 3. And at the last stop, he picks up 2 and 4 get off. Now the question I have is, how many stops did he make? All right, so what that is an example of your RAS. And your RAS is your reticular activating system. It controls your trading 100%. Somebody's all ready to drive into technicals and, again, blowing right past the fact that the mental game is going to control your results. So, of course you were counting the people because you made a judgment as to what to look for. And what this represents is the same thing on chart. See, I've been coaching, as I said, over 3,300 live sessions, thousands of traders, 10 years. And what happens is I could put a chart up in a room of 20 traders and I'll have 10 people that see different things. Same chart. And that's because of the RAS. Now the RAS is this, there was many anatomical functions for it, many functions in our environment. It has to do with regulating sleep and awakeness, if you will. It has to do with regulating the flight or fight mechanism. But it also has several other functions. And these are the functions that control your trading. The reticular activating system is the gatekeeper of consciousness. It's the spark of the mind. The reticular information connects with the major nerves in the spinal column of the brain. It sorts the 100 million impulses that assault the brain each second. See, here's the problem. As miraculous as neuroscience has progressed in the last decade, and as much as we know the brain is very powerful, the problem is with sensory information, there's more sensory information than our brain can process. There's more sensory information in a given second than our brain can process. So what happens is your RAS kicks in. And what your RAS does is it goes to your subconscious mind and it scans for your experience. It scans for your thoughts. It scans for your belief set. And it only then allows information that is being thrown at it that matches those things to come into your brain for processing. The other stuff it screens and filters out. So we tie lots of things together here. We tie RAS, we tie law of attraction, and we tie ego all into this little mechanism based on the fact that you can't absorb as much sensory information that's being given to you. So what happens is if you have negative self-talk, if you have your spouse telling you you're never going to make it as a trader, why are you wasting your time? That gets recorded in your subconscious. And when you're looking at charts, your crew, i.e. the subconscious mind, is telling you you're not going to be a good trader. You're not worthy of it. So your crew doesn't look for things that will let you see the good trades. If you say things like, oh my, every time I try and trade the blankety blank, the euro yen, I get stopped out. Well, guess what? That gets recorded. And your subconscious is making all these decisions. Your subconscious makes 98.6% of your decisions on the fly all the time. You don't control it one bit. Only your ego thinks you control it. So what happens is, if you say, I get stopped out on the EJ all the time, when you're trying to take a trade, your crew is looking for ways to help you get stopped out. They filter out the stuff that says, well, if you do this, you probably won't get stopped out. Because you told your crew, stopped out. That's your focus. It helps you succeed because you are conscious of available resources. There's only two types of information that get passed through that gateway. It's also called the thalamic gateway. Thalamic gateway. Thalamic, I can't say that word. Thalamic gateway. Threats and immediate value. If it's not of value based on your belief set, based on your dominant thoughts, based on your history and experience, it doesn't pass it on, guys. So what I can tell you over a decade of coaching in the Forex, when it comes to traders, the ones that learn to grow and build their RAS are the ones to succeed. And the ones that don't are the ones that fail. You want your RAS to have a bigger understanding of what it is you're looking for. And that doesn't happen by you just suggesting it once. Like anything, it's repetition. Make your goals important so that you can see the opportunities that are around you. This is what the real law of attraction is. It's not a genie in a bottle like The Secret showed. It's not, oh, just ask the universe and it's going to magically happen overnight. It's repetition. This is why vision boards are important. This is why affirmations are important. Or afformations if you're a fan of Noah St. John. This is why you eliminate self-talk. This is why you eliminate, watching TV news. This is why you don't hang around negative people. You all have heard, you become the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. Well, if they're not interested in doing big things in life, that's going to permeate your subconscious. And when you're on the charts, that's going to be reflected in how you see things. I'm not going to spend tons of time here. Why? Because we're going to be working on this all the time as we go through the technicals of pitchforks and what's on the charts and not on the charts. But there's a reality called the law of spirals, something I termed, and it really is a four-cornered box, but it creates a spiral. And this spiral always goes clockwise. The challenge is we all start pretty much with the same potential. It's our action. Now, the part of the spiral that's not here, I got a little program on this coming out late this year. But between potential and action are things like discipline, habits, routine. But the more potential you have, the more action you're going to take. The more action you take, the better results you're going to get over time. The better results you get over time increases your belief. The more belief you have, the more potential you have. The more potential you have, the more action you take. This is a circle that, as it spirals around, can work in your favor. Unfortunately, it can also work against you. If you have negative beliefs, your spouse is telling you you'll never be a trader. Oh my gosh, I get stopped out every time I trade the EJ. Your motivation, your potential wanes. And when you don't believe it as much, you're not going to take the right kind of action. All of a sudden, instead of being in this room every Monday and Wednesday, yeah, it's once a week. Are you showing up half hour late? What's going to happen with the results if your action gets minimized? Your results are going to be piss poor. And when your results go down, what happens to your belief set? It goes down. And what happens when your belief set goes down? Your potential goes down. Your action is less. Boom, 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 boom. This thing's hitting on all four cylinders, but spiraling you down. And the reality is this spiral spins you up or spins you down. It does not sit idle. Now on the bottom left-hand corner where it says belief, this is where we have the trifecta of RAS and law of attraction and ego. And they all impact that belief set. And this is why your self-development is important, because this is what helps regulate this stuff. Along with you shutting down your negative acquaintances, your negative friends, along with staying away from TV news and newspapers and such, along with, staying out of the drama on Facebook. So, what I've told my traders over time, I'm not really a Forex coach. I'm an RAS adjustment specialist. If you participate with me, and I'll talk about what that is here in just a second. If you participate with me, I will be able to see your personality. I'll know where your RAS is just by looking at your charts. Because your belief set, your RAS, the things you're screening in and screening out, as they duplicate, I will see it. Yep, exactly. I'm an RAS adjustment specialist, Dr. RAS. All right, let's keep moving on. I want to get to pitchforks. All right, so here's the big deal. Tell me when you see the Facebook page or the Facebook image. I have a group. Many of you are already in it. For those of you that are not, you should be in it. It's called iMarkets Live, Scans, Forex, Fibos, and Profits Trader Group. You can see the search criteria right here. Here's the name of the group in the upper left-hand corner. So you just go up here and search for that, and you'll get it, and request to join. In this group, we post trades. We post pitchforks. We post insight and wisdom. Some of these people in this group have been with me a long time. And we have a bunch of brand new folks. It's a community. And so here's the deal you're going to get by being in this session. You're going to get something I don't think you're going to find anywhere else. And that is, you're going to have the ability to practice your pitchforks and post them in that group. The group will help coach you on it, as well as all you have to do in that post of your pitchfork picture is to say, please review on IMLTV. And I will bring up that fork in here and we'll look at how we can make that fork better or how we can apply it. Now, one last mistake, or let me bring up one mistake that a lot of traders make, and I don't care what system it is you're using. You have to understand that tools, technical tools, are nothing more than traps. They're nothing more than traps. In other words, we're going to put a pitchfork out there, like a hunter puts a trap out. One of these, extreme Alaska shows where they got the hunter and he's got a 20-mile loop and he runs it every day on his snowmobile, right? He puts the trap out there. Guess what? Sometimes the trap doesn't catch anything. Sometimes the trap catches something. We don't worry about the times the trap doesn't catch something. I don't remember that guy's name. I've seen that show like maybe 4 times over the last 3 or 4 years. Kind of like, I think his name is, what is it? Eustace? No. I don't know the guy's name, but he leaves his family, he goes up north and he traps in Alaska. Way up there. And he has like a 20-mile loop. Gets on a snowmobile every day, and he's got like 20 traps, 40 traps, whatever he's got out there. And he just rides trap to trap to trap. Rebaits them if he has to. Sometimes people, animals come and steal the bait and don't trip the trap. Oh well. Reset the bait, move on. And he'll pick out of that 20 or 30 traps, he'll come home with 7 or 8 furs. He doesn't expect to set 20 traps and come home with 20 animals. And this is the thing traders do, is they psych themselves out because they think, well, show me where the pitchfork is here. Show me where the pitchfork is there. And oh my gosh, they're not there. It's not working. What's wrong? You do a proper pitchfork, it either will catch the pips or it won't. If there's no trade, you don't lose anything. So part of the difference in what we're going to do in here is we're not doing entry orders. Which is, yes, you go through some analysis, but then you have to sit and hope that your entry order gets triggered. We're only going to take trades when the trade is there. So it's a big difference than the old paradigm. In the old paradigm, all I see, and you know how I know this so well? Because it was me. It was me my first 2 years. I get it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, not so good training out there over the years. $10 and you buy a domain, you can put up a website, and there's a lot of that out there now, unfortunately. Not so much at IML. The Academy's pretty good. IMLTV's pretty good. But in the old paradigm, traders get caught up in things like analytics of forecasters. I remember going to all those daily FX, FX360, blah, 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 and reading all the analysts, and, oh, the trend is up. And oh, by the way, since y'all are experienced traders, what's the trend on the euro right now? Up or down? Okay, so here's a quick question for those of you who gave me answers. How do you know? What time frame are you talking about? The daily trend could be up, and 8-hour could be an impulsive move down. And I'm going to grab those 8-hour pips, let me tell you, because they'll move 300, 400, 500 pips. When you go to those forecasters page, those analysts page, oh, the trend is up. That helps you zero. That helps you zero. Because what are they talking about? Daily trades, weekly trades, weekly trend, daily trend, 8-hour trend, 4-hour trend, 30-minute trade, 15-minute trend. See, remember I said at the beginning, you could trade any number of things. I don't have an idle minute of the day. If I have time to trade, none of that time is idle. I could trade 4-hour trades, 30-minute trades, 10-minute trades, 1-minute trades. I'm never sitting idle. If there's pips to be made, I want to go get them. And then what is being taught to determine the trend? What's the formula? If the trend is up, how do you know? How do you know? I mean, I'm a brand new student. Tell me how I can tell the transition between the uptrend and the downtrend. Well, it's ranging and consolidating. Well, tell me when it stops the uptrend and when it starts consolidating, or when it stops consolidating and it starts down. Help me understand that. Well, there's no indicators that can tell you because they're only giving you pieces. And like I said, even if you can identify it on an indicator, that's on one time frame. What about other time frames? So we have a lot to learn, and we're going to do it. We're going to learn it. All right, so here's the deal. If you want to get my attention and you want to have a community of traders who are learning and have learned pitchforks, then you can post your stuff in here. Now, I don't have much time left, so I want to get to some good stuff. One of the good stuff things is I'm going to bonus you my pitchfork course. Now, because this session is going to be about pitchfork mastery, I need you to have a foundational understanding of what pitchforks are, how they work, well, I don't think your definition of a scalper and my definition of a scalper are the same. So I do both. I swing trade various time frames, mostly less than 4-hour, but I do have an 8-hour trade now and then. I don't do daily trades. But even my 4-hour trades, I'm in there with 10 pip stop losses. Actually, we'll get down the road because I don't want to like totally blow you out first day. But I can take 4-hour trades with 10 pip stop losses. So I'm going to give you my pitchfork course that most people pay for, and we have to have some agreement here. The first thing is, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm not going to be very effective in here if every time I start a session somebody says, what's a pitchfork? Because the people that have been coming need to sit through that 10,000 times then. So we don't want that. I want a place you can go and get trained on pitchforks. Now look, this is for IML people only, and it's only for active IML members. You do not share this link with anybody. This is just for you. I don't care if it's your buddy that says, oh, I meant to get to the session last night. Can you give me the link? Don't do it. Because I'll cut you out. I'll cut you off. I can't stop you from coming to the session, but I can stop all the extra stuff I give and I put into it. So you're going to have this course. Now, eventually, this is going to show up where? IML Academy. I'm redoing the course, and it'll show up the IML Academy. But that's going to be several months out. So in the meantime, I want you to have my Pitchfork Mastery program. So the way you get it is you go to a website called, let me give this to you. I'm trying to get this done so we can get out of here. Where did it just go? Everything slows down, man, with this broadcast. It's terrible. Okay. I'll learn. I just can't move as fast as I'm used to moving on GoToWebinar. Even moving stuff between monitors and whatnot. Alright, so I don't know how much of that you can see. Let me blow up the page a little. Oh, I don't need to blow that up. So, up in the upper left-hand corner, write this down. Here, let me tell you one of my pet peeves is we're going to cover a lot of ground, guys. And let me tell you what I don't have a lot of patience for people that say they want to use this trading the Forex and being consistently successful and using it to create ultimate wealth creation, I don't have a lot of patience for those who don't take it seriously. And so when I could put out a URL and 35 people get it, I don't need 3 or 4 people sending me an email or a Facebook message. Oh, what was that URL again? Take a friggin' screenshot, write it down, do something, get it. Now, everybody has an issue now and then. I'll put up with it once or twice, but I'm not going to deal with people who are addicted to not doing the work and wanting me to do the work for them. That ain't going to happen in this group. So, forexpitchfork.com/IML. forexpitchfork.com/IML. The IML is all uppercase. So if you can't see that upper left-hand corner of the screen, I apologize. I know now I have to make things big. No, it has to be uppercase IML. Hey, you got to be responsible. You know what? We can look at this one of two ways. I can accommodate everybody who says they want to be a millionaire but aren't going to put forth the effort, or I can accommodate the people who say I want to be a billionaire and they're a millionaire and they're going to put forth the effort. I'll work with those people. I don't have time to work with everybody, and the people that aren't serious, I'll help them, but they're not going to get that level of attention. So, forexpitchfork.com. Yes, Tim, thank you. Tim just put it in there. forexpitchfork.com IML. Now, there is a login required. And let me put that up because I think I've got the URL on it as well. So instead of dragging you all through that, my bad. There it is. So coming up, take a screenshot. Yes, there's a username and password. It's right on the screen now. That's it, Ms. Popsicle. The group name, Kathy, is iMarkets Live, Scans, Forks, and Fibos. Pipsicle. Is this coming through? Can everybody read it? So with that, you can, yeah, that comes in clear. So take a screenshot of that. Nobody should have a problem with that. Make sure in the password, that's a forced thing by Windows. You have to have uppercase, lowercase, symbols, and numbers. So, my normal make it easy password couldn't work. So there's the username and password. Take a screenshot right there. Just log in, and there's the people have already confirming that they could log into it. So there's your bonus course by being an attendee here right now. Start that course. So your questions can come from there as we move forward over the next several weeks. And this ain't no simple course. It's got its worth. Don't worry about some of it being old. Winston, it's on the screen in front of you. User ID, password. Do not share that, guys. That's just for you. So take a screenshot. I want to take this down. So you get the course. You get use of our community. It's growing pretty strong. A lot of the technical traders from IML are already there. You know, I got about 1,700 members right now. It's growing pretty fast. Post your trades there. Post your pitchforks there. As we get into scans and Fibos, post it there. You have people who are willing to help you. I've got strong support, and I love my traders. They support me. They will support you. And the reason they're going to do that is they're passing it forward a little, because once you master pitchforks, you're going to do the same thing. And when IML goes from 32,000 members, as it is in August, and we go to 50 and 100,000 and 500,000, people are going to need help, and you're going to give it back to them. So people are going to give it to you to help you achieve success. The payback is to help other people when they need it. Okay? So that's a very value-driven course just thrown at you free. Well, not free for your membership in IML. Now, it's an external link. It's not based, IML has nothing to do with it, but until I get the content for pitchforks into IML Academy, I want you guys to be able to move at warp speeds. All right, I don't want to go over too much. I've gone over. Monday, we will look at some existing examples of pitchforks, i.e. some of the pictures I'm showing now, and we'll go to live charts. My routine moving forward is pitchforks is going to be the easiest thing for you to learn. Trust me. Out of any technique, pitchforks is going to be the easiest thing for you to learn. It doesn't mean you'll know it all in 30 days, but you're going to be able to start drawing them. You're going to start seeing them. Remember, they are traps, guys. You still need to do the IML Academy. This is not in lieu of anything. This is in addition to. All right? This is not in lieu of anything. This is in addition to. Well, if you type in forexpitchfork.com/uppercase I, uppercase M, uppercase L, and it doesn't give you a password and you're just on the site, then you're lucky. I don't know what to say. All right. Hey, Annette. Good to see you here. All right. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through. We're going to have a fun time in here today. It was kind of, you know what today is? Today's like those first few days of school. Y'all who have kids and whatnot, you know, you remember going to school. You know, first few days is, hey, here's what we're going to do in the year, and this is how you pronounce my name, blah, 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 blah. So we got to get through some of this. And my goal is to do pitchfork setups on Monday and Wednesday. You know, we'll do some on Monday. We'll review where they are on Wednesday. We'll see if there's any new ones on Wednesday. We're going to be setting price traps. I'm going to end it with this. One of the big differences between the old paradigm and the way I trade is this. In the old paradigm, you are trying to figure out where price is going. Analysts bait you to come to them, and most of the reason is because, you know, the indicators lag and they're no good for you. All right. So you go hunting to analysts. You go hunting to, you know, what did Kathy Lean say? What did Boris Schlossberg say? What's Rob Booker saying this week? You know, where's price going? The analogy I give my traders is this. There's a train, it leaves a train station, it's got to go 300 miles to the next train station, and everybody in between's trying to predict when it's going to get to that next train station. And you know what? I don't play that game. You know why? Because I'm sitting at that train station and I'll know when the train gets there. That's the fundamental difference between the old paradigm and the new paradigm. You just watch. In Facebook land, social media, analytics, analyst pages, everybody's trying to figure out where it's going. Either because they're in a trade and they want to know, or because they want to know when the next trade might be. When's it going to get there? When's it going to get there? And I'm sitting there on a bench at the train station, one of those old-fashioned posts with the clocks on four sides of it, and a train pulls in. Oh, it's 12:02. I know exactly when the train got here. I didn't have to spend all this time trying to figure out when it was going to get here. So when you learn to use traps, that's all you have to do. And all I said as a reminder, don't worry. The traps aren't always going to catch something. That's okay. We just set more traps. Fundamentally, if you set a trap and it never gets triggered, how much money did you lose? None. And I'm going to get you to the point of selectivity. You just have to stay with me. You have to be committed if it's ultimate wealth generation that you're after. And I'm going to get to that point where I am, and I don't say this in an arrogant fashion. I just say this because of the selectivity that I use. I only take trades that I'm going to win. And when you get to that point, excuse my language, the charts are your bitch. You own the charts. They don't trick you into taking trades when you're not supposed to. They don't have you gambling. You only take the trades that you're going to win. Yes, I lose trades now and then, but by micro percents. Because, and this is the part that's going to kind of like scare some of you, even though we use a 10 pip stop loss in the trade station and to calculate our risk, I typically exit within 3 to 4 pips. And I'll show you how we do that. So typically if I have 2% in a trade, guess what? 2% to a 10 pip stop loss means every 10 pips I'm making 2%. And when I lose a trade, I lose 0.6, 0.7%. I'll get you there. Just stick with me. And the beauty, as I said, is pitchforks can be used for many things. Harmonic scans, We're going to jump right in there with Jed and be able to complement what he's doing for those of you who are following him. It's going to help you with his divergence, determine when the trades are right. So it's going to be a fun run. You got to be here as much as you can. Per IMLTV, they do record the last 5 sessions and roll that forward. So if you miss one, you better get on that train pretty quick because in just a week or two, they're gone. I would recommend you get a notebook for this session. Take notes. When I tell you to write this down, write that down. You need to get those notes down. Help each other in the chat box. We're going to move forward. For those that are serious, you'll figure out how to pick up the pace. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not technically hard. This is not rocket science. Once you understand how pitchforks work, oh my gosh. I have very little attrition with pitchfork traders. If they draw enough, it's like gold fever. Once you get it and you taste it, it's, oh my gosh, you won't leave it ever. So with that, I'm going to shut this down. I thank you all for coming tonight. Again, I apologize for Monday night being a challenge. I'll work on the clarity on the screen. I'll make certain things bigger in the future now that I know I have to. There's no logging out of it. You can just close out the website, Alex, and it'll be fine. It's not like a login. It's just a password to give you access. It should, for most cases, if you don't clear your cache, it should let you back in the next time without having to enter it. All right, so I'll see you on Monday. You all have a great weekend. And as always, life can be short. So for those people in your life that you care and love, let them know you care and love them, okay? I'll see you on Monday, guys. Take care.